Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. So we're going to review a hadith that we've already covered before in Riyadh al-Salihin about 2 or 3 times, because there are repeat narrations in the book. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, "Ala kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyati." That each and every single one of you is like a shepherd, and each and every one of you is going to be responsible for your flock. So this idea of people being a shepherd is somebody who takes care of sheep, who takes care of animals. You have to protect those animals. So they have a sense of responsibility. So the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, is talking about the idea of there's a responsibility that each and every single one of you has. And then he says, وَالرَّجُلُ رَاعٍ عَلَى أَهْلِ بَيْتِهِ وَهُوَ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْهُمْ. Says the man is the shepherd over the house of his family, and he is responsible for them. وَالْمَرْأَةُ رَاعِيَةٌ عَلَى بَيْتِ بَعْلِهَا وَوَلَدِهِ وَهِيَ مَسْئُولَةٌ عَنْهُ. And the woman, meaning like the wife in a marriage, she is the shepherd over the house of her husband and her child, and she's responsible for them. When we read a hadith like this, one of the confusing things that people always ask is they say, well, okay, this seems very basic. We have an understanding that a man has a responsibility over the household. And then they say, but the woman has a responsibility over the house of her husband. So what exactly are the roles? When we say this hadith, this is an authentic hadith in Bukhari and Muslim. The chain of narration is authentic. It's been said in many, many cases. But what exactly does that mean? What does it mean that the husband is the head of the household? And what responsibilities does a husband have? What rights does a husband have? What responsibilities does a woman have? What rights does a woman have? So these are questions which are being asked by people because the idea of gender roles, that a man has a different role than a woman's role, and a man has a certain responsibility but also certain rights that a woman doesn't have, and vice versa. So people are challenging that and saying, no, everything should be equal across the board. Many people get married and they say we are entering into what's called an egalitarian marriage, where everything is going to be shared 50-50. Work will be 50-50, dishes will be 50-50, taking care of the children will be 50-50. One day you're going to cook, one day I'm going to cook. One day you're going to change the diapers, one day I'm going to change the diapers. And people are saying, how do we deal with a situation like this? Now the answer is a long answer. And the long answer is going to come in the upcoming men's conference, which is going to be, inshallah, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So I was asked to talk about this important, last day of advertising for the men's conference. There are early bird sale tickets for the men's conference, which is expiring today. So I highly, highly recommend every single person try to make it to that men's conference. And I recommend all the sisters upstairs that if you have a son who's 12 or older, or if you have a husband who needs a good reminder about what masculinity is in Islam, what the man's role is in Islam, in terms of role in the household and role in marriage, it's very important that people attend this conference. So this men's conference is the first conference like it being, done, I think, probably in North America, perhaps in the world. So we have great speakers coming from out of town who specialize in this topic. We have Sheikh Abdullah Oduro from the Yaqeen Institute. He's going to be coming down. We have Imam Dawood Walid, who actually wrote an entire book on futuwa, on chivalry, and about masculinity, and how people have lost this sense of masculinity in the modern age, and what is Islamic masculinity, what is chivalry, what is that? That term almost sounds like ancient. Chivalry, like futuwa, like what does that even mean? So inshallah, we have some people who are very qualified, inshallah, coming to the conference. I highly recommend you check it out. Registration is online, and there's a flyer right outside in the lobby. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to understand what true Islamic masculinity is, and help us to apply that in our lives, in our families, in our personal lives, and with our children and with our spouses. Ameen wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.